Smoke covered the battlefield like a dark blanket. Broken ships lay everywhere, glowing with dying sparks. The air smelled of metal, fire, and old blood. In the middle of this ruined land walked Rhyka, an elite alien warrior known for her strength, focus, and cold heart. She was trained from childhood to feel nothing. But today, something felt wrong. Her boots kicked dust as she searched the crash zone. A giant human escape pod had fallen from orbit and smashed into the ground with a force that could destroy a mountain. Even the strongest alien should be nothing but ashes inside it. Rhyka expected to find only a body. Instead, she heard a sound. A weak, coughing noise. A human noise. Her sharp eyes locked onto the pod. Its metal was twisted like soft clay, the hatch broken open. She moved closer, her heartbeat slow but alert. No human could survive this. No one, not even her own people, could live after such a fall. But the sound came again. A groan, a breath, slow but alive. Rhyka stepped inside the shattered pod and froze. A human lay there, even small compared to her tall warrior frame, covered in dust and bruises, but breathing. His hand moved. His chest lifted. His eyes slowly opened. Rhyka's voice came out in a whisper she never expected to say. "It's too big. How do humans even survive this?" Evan blinked at her, confused and dizzy. Where am I?" "You should be dead," Rhyka said quietly, almost talking to herself. "This fall, even my armor would break. How are you still alive?" The ground suddenly trembled. A deep growl echoed from beyond the smoke. Rhyka's instincts sharpened. Something huge was approaching, a creature from the battlefield that fed on the dying. She grabbed Evan's arm. "Move now. I can't." Rhyka lifted him easily, shocked at how light he was compared to her species. But the strange part wasn't his weight. It was the fact that he could stand at all. Humans were supposed to be fragile, weak, soft bodies made for calm worlds, not war zones. But this human's eyes were steady. His breath was returning. His heart was beating stronger by the second dot. She pushed him forward. "You fell from the sky. You survived. That makes no sense. I'm tougher than I look," Evan said with a weak smile. Before she could reply, the monster stepped out of the smoke. Its skin was black armor, its eyes burning red. Huge claws dragged across metal. Rhyka held her weapon tight. Evan stared in horror. "What is that?" "Trouble." Rhyka pulled him behind a broken engine. "Stay down." The creature sniffed the air, searching for heat. "Searching for life." Evan whispered. "It's blind. But it's following vibrations." "Don't move." Rhyka turned her head sharply. How did a human know that? Even trained warriors took years to learn the creature's hunting style. The creature roared and charged. Rhyka pushed Evan aside and slashed, sparks flying. She hit its shoulder, but it did not slow. It swung a claw the size of her head. She dodged barely. She was strong, but it was stronger. Evan shouted from behind the wreck. "Hit the joint in its front leg. That spot is thinner." Rhyka blinked. How could a human see that so fast? But she trusted his voice. She rolled under the creature, sliced the weak point, and the giant monster collapsed with a scream. Dust settled. Silence returned. Rhyka looked at Evan again. Not with fear. Not with anger, but with growing confusion. "How do humans survive anything?" she whispered. Evan didn't know. And Rhyka knew this was only the beginning of the mystery. The monster's body stopped moving, but the ground did not stop shaking. Something else was out there. Something heavier. Something older. Rhyka's warrior senses felt it before she heard it. A deep rumbling beneath the battlefield. She pulled Evan to his feet. "We move, now." Evan tried to steady his breathing. His legs were weak, but he somehow stayed upright. Rhyka watched him for a moment. Humans were not supposed to take this much damage and still walk. Her people had studied humans for decades, weak bones, soft skin, no natural armor. But this human just kept going. They ran through broken metal and burning ship pieces. Smoke covered everything like fog. Every sound echoed for miles. Evan stumbled once, falling to his knees. But he pushed himself up with surprising strength. Rhyka noticed it again. He was getting stronger, faster, more stable. Impossible. She slowed for a moment, watching him. Humans heal at this speed? Evan shook his head. No. Not normally. Before Rhyka could question him, a thunderous roar split the air behind them. The burning corpse of the first monster exploded into sparks. Something large was devouring it. Evan stiffened. Is that another creature? No, Rhyka whispered. It is worse. Through the smoke came a giant silhouette. 6 legs, armored shell, long bone spikes rising from its back. Its eyes burned like twin suns. This creature did not hunt for food. It hunted for sport. Evan backed away. We can't fight that. Rhyka didn't argue. Even she, an elite warrior, would die in seconds fighting this alone. But the creature sniffed the air again, and it turned toward them. Rhyka grabbed Evan's hand and ran. His heartbeat was fast, but his steps matched hers. That was what shocked her most, a human, keeping pace with a warrior bred for battle. They entered a field of shattered metal spikes, the remains of a destroyed alien weapon. Rhyka moved carefully. Evan followed without question. She noticed how fast he learned, how quickly he adapted to her movements. Humans were not supposed to have such instincts. They crouched behind a fallen engine. The creature moved slowly, listening. Its steps cracked the ground like thunder. Rhyka held her breath. Evan did too. The monster sniffed again. Evan whispered, "It's following our heat. But the engine is still warm. It might confuse it." Rhyka turned to him sharply. "How do you know this?" "Human senses are weak." Evan looked confused. "I don't know. I'm just thinking fast." "Thinking fast?" No, this was more than thinking. His instincts were changing. His awareness was sharper than before. His eyes were scanning everything, like a trained soldier. But he was no soldier. The creature moved away for a moment, distracted by another burning wreck. Rhyka pulled Evan deeper into the ruins. As they reached safer ground, Rhyka stopped him. "You see things no human should. You react faster than your species can. This is not normal." Evan swallowed hard. "I don't understand it either." Rhyka stepped close, her tall form casting a shadow over him. "Humans are weak, slow, fragile, but you survived a fall that kills warriors. You healed in minutes. You saw weak points in a creature bred for war. What are you hiding?" "I'm not hiding anything," Evan said softly. "I don't even know what's happening to me." Before Rhyka could respond, the ground ahead of them opened, a hidden door sliding from the dirt. A cold wind rushed out. Lights flickered inside the underground passage. Ancient alien symbols glowed on the walls. Evan felt a strange pull. Rhyka felt fear. This place was waiting for them, or worse, waiting for him. The underground door opened with a slow, heavy sound, like something ancient waking up after a long sleep. Rhyka held her weapon tight, her eyes scanning the darkness. Evan stood behind her, breathing fast, feeling something strange pulling him forward. Rhyka noticed it. "Stay close. This place is not safe." They stepped inside. The walls glowed with soft blue lights shaped like symbols. Evan didn't understand them, but Rhyka did. Her people used these markings thousands of years ago. "This outpost is older than my entire clan," she whispered. "Why is it opening now?" Evan didn't answer. He felt something deeper, something like a voice calling from the metal itself. Not in words, but in instinct. His steps matched the rhythm of the lights. His heartbeat felt connected to the floor. Rhyka stopped suddenly. Evan almost bumped into her. "What now?" he asked nervously. She pointed at the ground. A pattern glowed beneath his feet. Not beneath hers. Only under him. The symbols formed a circle around him and lit up brighter. Rhyka stepped back, stunned. "This room is reacting to you." Evan froze. "To me? Why me?" The light stretched up the walls and across the ceiling, connecting like veins. A deep hum filled the chamber. Dust shook loose from the ceiling. Somewhere in the distance, machinery awakened after thousands of silent years. Rhyka raised her weapon, unsure whether she should protect Evan or protect herself from Evan. But before she could decide, the floor opened beneath them, fast, and they fell. Evan hit the new level first, rolling to soften the impact. Rhyka landed beside him, surprised that he moved like a trained fighter. Humans were not supposed to have such reflexes. "What are you becoming?" she whispered. Evan didn't hear her. His eyes were fixed on a large, central crystal glowing bright white. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Every pulse made his skin prickle and his mind sharpen, as if something inside him was unlocking. Rhyka approached the crystal and read the ancient symbols carved on it. Her face turned pale. Something rare for an alien warrior, these warnings. "They are about your species." Evan stepped closer. "What do they say?" Rhyka touched the lines slowly, translating the words. "It says, do not approach humans. Do not test humans. Do not trap humans. If you do, they will evolve." Evan felt a chill run down his spine. Rhyka continued, voice trembling slightly. "Humans adapt faster than any known species. They grow stronger under stress. Their bodies learn from danger. Their minds change under pressure. Their limits do not stay the same." Evan stared at his hands. "Is that why I'm surviving? Why I'm healing?" "Yes," Rhyka said. "Your survival core is active." "My what?" She looked at him with fear and awe. "A part of your biology that only appears under extreme danger. My people thought it was only a myth." Before Evan could react, the chamber shook violently. A metal door slammed shut, locking them inside. From the shadows, mechanical arms rose from the walls, scanning Evan with bright red beams. Rhyka jumped in front of him. "It's a test facility. It sees you as a subject." The machines activated. Panels in the walls unfolded into spikes, swinging blades, moving walls, and falling debris, all designed to push the subject to the edge of death. Evan grabbed Rika's wrist. "We need to move." They dodged the first trap, a giant wall smashing down. Then lasers burst across the floor. Then spinning blades. Then collapsing ceilings. The entire room tried to break them apart. But with every danger, Evan moved faster. His body reacted before his mind could think. He pulled Rhyka out of danger again and again, sometimes before she even saw the threat. Rhyka gasped. "You're improving." Every second. Evan didn't know how. He didn't know why. But one thing was clear. This facility wasn't hunting him, it was studying him. And something even more terrifying was waiting in the next room. The metal doors opened with a heavy hiss, revealing a long corridor stretching into darkness. Blue lights flickered weakly on the ceiling, guiding a path that felt older than any civilization Rhyka knew. The air was cold and still, as if no living creature had walked here for thousands of years. Evan stepped forward, breathing hard. His body was recovering too fast. Too perfectly. Rhyka noticed it with every movement he made. This wasn't normal human healing. This was something else. Rhyka raised her weapon. "Stay behind me." Evan shook his head. "No, I feel like I know this place." Rhyka frowned. "Humans have never been here." Evan didn't argue. He simply walked ahead, drawn by an invisible force. The corridor walls seemed to hum as he moved, like the entire facility recognized him. Then, suddenly, a scream echoed from deep inside the darkness. Not a human scream. Not an alien scream. Something metallic and alive. Rhyka instantly pulled Evan behind a broken pillar. Her heart raced, rare for someone like her. Whatever screamed was massive, old, and angry. Evan whispered, "That wasn't an animal." "No," Rhyka said softly, scanning the shadows. "It was a machine." Lights along the walls flared to life, one by one, revealing carvings of ancient battles. Evan's eyes focused sharply. The images seemed familiar, almost like memories. Humans facing giant creatures. Humans fighting elite alien warriors. Humans standing alone against storms, fire, space, and death. Every image showed the same message: humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans overcome. Rhyka felt cold. Your species. They were feared. Even in ancient times. Evan swallowed. But why? We're not strong like you. We're not fast. We're just normal people. Not you, Rhyka said. Not now. Before Evan could reply, the corridor opened into a massive circular chamber. In the center stood a tall crystalline pillar, glowing with white gold light. The air around it crackled with energy. Rhyka stared in shock. This is a memory core, the oldest one I've ever seen. Evan felt a strange heaviness in his chest. His heartbeat matched the pulsing light of the core. He stepped toward it without thinking. Rhyka grabbed his arm. "Stop, we don't know what it will do." But the core responded instantly to Evan's presence. Its glow brightened. Its pulse quickened. Symbols spun around it like floating stars. A voice filled the chamber, deep, ancient, echoing from every direction. Subject: human detected. Survival core, active. Begin identity revelation sequence. Evan's body froze. The light shot toward him in thin, bright streams, scanning him from head to toe. Rhyka raised her weapon at the core. "Leave him alone." But the voice continued, "Human anomaly confirmed. Enhanced adaptation system. Fully awakened." Evan staggered. His vision blurred. His mind filled with flashing images he didn't recognize. Battles, screams, fire, deep space, and ancient ruins. He dropped to his knees. Rhyka knelt beside him. "Evan, stay with me." The voice changed tone, deeper, more serious. "Warning, the universe will hunt this human. Terminate sequence or prepare for activation of Guardian." Rhyka's eyes widened. "Guardian? What Guardian?" The walls began to shift. Metal panels slid open. Heavy mechanisms started moving behind them. The air vibrated with the sound of massive engines coming to life. Evan struggled to stand. "Rhyka, something is waking up." She pulled him behind her. "Then we face it." The floor cracked. A huge armored figure rose from beneath the chamber. A giant mechanical warrior with glowing eyes. Ancient armor and weapons older than Rhyka's entire planet. The voice declared, "Guardian initialized. Human subject must be protected." Rhyka blinked in shock. Protected? By this giant machine? Evan stared at the Guardian as it lowered its head toward him, as if greeting a long-lost master, and the chamber fell into dead silence. The Guardian stood completely still at first, a towering giant of ancient metal, shaped like an armored warrior from forgotten times. Its eyes glowed bright gold, reflecting the strange energy of the memory core. Dust fell from its shoulders as if it had been asleep for ages. Rhyka kept her weapon raised, but even she felt small in front of the machine. She whispered, "That thing could destroy a whole army." Evan stepped forward slowly, drawn toward the Guardian. He didn't know why, but something inside him felt connected to it. His heartbeat synced with the machine's glowing core. His breath matched its slow mechanical hum. The Guardian moved for the first time. Its head turned. Its eyes focused on Evan. Rhyka jumped in front of him. "Stay back. He's not your target." The Guardian did not attack. Instead, a deep voice echoed from inside its chest, a voice that felt like it came from the center of time itself. "Threat level near human unit detected. Protection protocol activated." Rhyka blinked. "Protection? You're protecting him." The Guardian slowly knelt on one knee in front of Evan, a gesture of respect no alien warrior had ever received. Evan felt cold shivers run through his entire body. Why are you kneeling to me?" The Guardian answered without hesitation. "Because your kind once commanded us." Rhyka felt her heart drop. Commanded? Humans controlled these machines? "Yes," the Guardian said. "Humans built us when their species still traveled the stars." Evan shook his head. "No, that's not possible. Humans never. We don't have that kind of history." The Guardian's voice softened. Almost sad. "Your species forgot." "But we did not." Rhyka tried to process the truth. "So humans were advanced?" "More advanced than any other," the Guardian replied. "But their power frightened the galaxy. Many feared what a fully awakened human could do." Evan placed a hand on his chest, feeling his rapidly strengthening heartbeat. "Like, what's happening to me now?" The Guardian nodded. Double quotes, "Yes. The survival core inside your body has awakened. It will continue to evolve." Rhyka stepped back, shocked. "Evolve? Into what?" The Guardian's eyes dimmed slightly. "Into what humans were always meant to become. A species that cannot be controlled. A species that refuses to die. A species that adapts to every threat, every environment, every war." Evan staggered from the weight of the words. "But I'm just normal. Just an engineer. I don't have powers. I'm not a soldier." The Guardian spoke again. "Any human can become extraordinary once the survival core awakens." The ground suddenly shook violently, the entire facility trembling. Dust fell from the ceiling. Alarms lit up in red. Rhyka steadied herself. "What now?" The Guardian's voice turned dark. "The outpost broadcasted your location the moment it activated. Hostile forces are coming." Rhyka's eyes sharpened. "Enemies?" The Guardian nodded. "They fear humans. They fear what you will become. They will do anything to end you. Before your evolution completes." Evan's breath caught. "How many are coming?" "An army," the Guardian answered. "Ships are already approaching. You must leave. Or be destroyed." Evan looked at Rhyka. "And you? Are you staying?" She stared at him, this impossible human who kept surviving, kept growing, kept changing. She had trained her whole life to judge weakness and strength, but she had never seen anything like him. Finally, she lifted her chin. "I'm not leaving you." Evan felt something warm in his chest, a connection forming. Strong and real. The Guardian stood tall again. "Follow me. There's a path to escape. But we must move fast." As they stepped toward the hidden exit, another massive tremor hit. The chamber lights flickered, and far above them, dozens of alien ships entered the sky, all hunting one human. The underground chamber shook like a living beast trying to break open. The Guardian's heavy footsteps echoed through the ancient tunnels as it guided Evan and Rhyka toward the exit. Dust fell in steady waves. Pipes burst. Lights flickered. The entire outpost was waking up and breaking apart. Rhyka kept a tight grip on Evan's arm. He didn't stumble. He didn't slow. In fact, he seemed strangely calm. His eyes sharp. His steps confident. His breathing steady. Too steady. Rhyka finally asked, "Are you feeling something strange?" Evan nodded. "Yes, I feel clearer, stronger, like my mind is speeding up." She stared at him. "Your survival core is activating again." Before he could answer, the Guardian suddenly raised its arm, blocking the path. A wall exploded inward. Flames burst across the tunnel. From the hole stepped a squad of armored alien soldiers, black armor, red visors, weapons humming with killing energy. Rhyka's breath caught. Shadow Legion. The deadliest hunters in the galaxy. And they were here for one human. Their commander raised his weapon, pointing it straight at Evan. Target located. Kill the anomaly. The Guardian roared a sound like thunder, rolling inside metal, and charged at the soldiers. The tunnel shook with impact as metal clashed against metal. Soldiers screamed as the Guardian's massive blade tore through their ranks. Rhyka pulled Evan behind old machinery. "Stay low." But Evan peeked out anyway. His mind was racing, calculating angles, movement speed, weapon reach, armor design. Every detail entering his thoughts in seconds. He shouldn't know any of this. He didn't even know how to fight. Yet instincts whispered to him, guiding his mind. Rhyka noticed. "You're analyzing them. Like a warrior." Evan swallowed hard. "I can't stop it." The Legion soldiers regrouped and fired energy blasts at the Guardian. The giant deflected some, but others hit directly, causing sparks to burst from its armor. The Guardian shouted, "Move!" 2 more squads approaching. Rhyka reacted instantly, grabbing Evan's hand and running deeper into the tunnels. But Evan did something unexpected. He pulled her in the correct direction. "This way," he said, pointing left. Rhyka frowned. "How do you know?" "I just do." The path Evan chose led them to a maintenance corridor. The lights were broken, the ground uneven, but Evan ran without hesitation. Rhyka followed, feeling a strange mix of fear and amazement. Behind them, the Legion continued firing. Explosions echoed through the tunnels. Rhyka pushed Evan forward. Faster! But he was already moving faster than a normal human should. His steps were lighter. His balance was perfect. Even the sound of his breathing felt controlled. They reached a large, circular hatch. The Guardian caught up with them, damaged but still active. "There's no time," it said, scanning the hatch. "External forces are converging on this exit." Rhyka tightened her grip on her weapon. "How many?" The Guardian's eyes glowed. "Dozens of soldiers. And 3 dropships." Evan froze. 3 dropships? "For me?" "Not for you," the Guardian corrected. "For what you might become." The hatch opened with a heavy hiss, revealing a vast underground cavern leading to the surface. Light from outside flickered through cracks. The sound of engines filled the air, ships hovering above the exit. Rhyka crouched low. "We'll be exposed the moment we step out." Evan felt his heartbeat rise again. His chest burned. His eyes sharpened. Something inside him, the survival core, was awakening even more, but instead of fear. He felt clarity, determination, strength, double quotes, "We run together," he said. "We survive together." Rhyka looked at him, this impossible human who kept adapting faster than anything she had ever seen. She nodded once. "Together." The Guardian stepped in front of them, raising its massive shield. "Stay behind me. I will clear the path." The hatch burst open fully, light flooded in, and outside waited an army, all weapons locked on one human. Evan. Bright daylight slammed into their eyes as the hatch opened fully. Wind rushed across the rocky ground outside, carrying dust and the heavy smell of burning engines. The sky above was covered with enemy dropships, 3 large ones and dozens of smaller attack crafts. Their guns glowed bright red, all pointing down. Pointing at Evan, Rhyka stepped forward, her weapon ready, her heart pounding. The Guardian blocked most of the opening with its massive shield. But even it seemed small compared to the enemy army waiting outside. The Shadow Legion commander spoke through a loudspeaker. His voice cold and sharp. "Human anomaly. Step forward. You will be terminated. Evan felt the words hit him like ice. Rhyka immediately grabbed his arm. You are not stepping forward. Evan swallowed hard. They're here. All for me. Rhyka met his eyes. Then they will have to go through me. He knew she meant it, truly meant it. The thought shook him in a way that bullets could not. A warrior bred for war was willing to die for a human she met only hours ago. The Guardian raised its blade, engaging defensive protocol. Then everything exploded into motion. The dropships fired at once. Red energy beams smashed against the Guardian's shield, shaking the ground beneath their feet. Rhyka pulled Evan behind a broken pillar as the blast tore through the cavern entrance. But the Guardian charged forward, slashing through the first wave of soldiers like a storm made of steel. Sparks flew. Metal burned. The air filled with screams and explosions. Evan tried to hide, but his body refused. Something inside him was changing again. His vision sharpened. His muscles tightened. His mind shifted into a calm, deadly focus. He stood up. Rhyka grabbed him. Evan, what are you doing? I don't know, he whispered. But I can feel it. Something inside me is awake. A group of soldiers rushed them. Rhyka spun her blade with warrior precision, cutting through the first two attackers. The third soldier fired at Evan. He didn't think. He simply moved, faster than any human should. He grabbed Rhyka's shoulder and pulled her down as the beam ripped through the air where her head had been. Rhyka looked at him in shock. How did you move like that? I don't know, Evan whispered. But he did know. Deep inside, he felt the truth forming. Humans weren't weak. Just sleeping. More soldiers charged. Rhyka fought with everything she had, but even she was slowing down. A shot hit her shoulder, forcing her to her knees. RHYKA. Evan shouted, catching her before she fell. The survival core inside him ignited like a storm. Time slowed around him. His breath steadied. Every sound became clear, every footstep, every scream, every metal clash. He stood. The Legion commander pointed. Kill him now. 10 soldiers fired at once. Evan raised his hand, and the beams hit the ground around him as he dodged with inhuman precision. He moved like something impossible, fast, calm, unbreakable. He grabbed the fallen weapon, and his hands instantly understood its weight, balance, and firing pattern. Rhyka stared at him with wide eyes. Evan, you're not the same. He looked back at her. I'm still me. But something inside woke up. The commander roared, sending all remaining soldiers at them. The Guardian fought but was overwhelmed. Dropships aimed at Evan, preparing a final blast. Rhyka struggled to stand. Run, please. Evan shook his head. No, humans don't run. He lifted the weapon. The survival core fully awakened. His eyes glowed with a faint, golden light matching the Guardian. He fired. One shot. A perfect shot. The blast hit the dropship reactor. The explosion ripped across the sky, knocking other ships off balance. Soldiers panicked. The battlefield froze. Rhyka looked at Evan with awe and something deeper. You adapted. Evan helped her stand. We adapt. We survive. That's what humans do. The remaining ships fled, terrified of what they had just witnessed. The Guardian approached. Damaged but standing. Human unit, it said. Your evolution has begun. Rhyka leaned on Evan. Whatever you become, you won't face it alone. Evan looked at her, at the Guardian, at the empty battlefield full of silence and smoke. And he whispered, then let the galaxy come. I'm ready.